What it do, man? It's your boy Battle Truth coming to you live and direct from the Battle Truth headquarters. Let's get right off into this, man. Damn, Diddy. I'm losing counts of all these rapes they putting on you, brother. Like, man, they at that bag, boy. Ooh, they at that bag, man. But again, what was in the dark comes to the light. Seems like your ghost is coming out on you. So for those of y'all who don't know, another victim came out on Diddy, man, and this woman is 17 years old, and she is alleging that Diddy was trafficking her, and at the same time was responsible for her being gang raped. That is in the transcripts or the paperwork of the allegations that's against him, man. So according to the 17-year-old, man, that she was introduced to Diddy, and she was taken to his studio where she was alleging that she was getting gang raped by a couple guys who were forcing her to have oral sex and trading her off. Then they took her from New York to Atlanta. Now, I don't know what the age of consent in Atlanta, but I looked up the age of consent in New York. And it says the age of consent in New York is 17 years old. So she was the legal age for him to be having sex. But according to her, I guess this was taken against her will. Against her will, I guess. With some of these charges are just, some of the details in these charges are crazy. Like, again, so she was of the age of consent, but yet she went from New York to Atlanta. And according to her, they was also smoking crack. Some of his people were smoking crack and stuff. I know Cassie lawyer is also covering and taking this too. This also has something to do with her charging too. This crazy though, man, you know, but I mean, it ain't crazy because I don't nothing take me by surprise when we dealing with Hollywood, when we dealing with drugs, when we dealing with guys with money who tend to have this crave for power. Like most guys who got money like that and they filthy rich like that, they not moved by money. They move by power. They love to know that they have the ability to make people do things they wouldn't do in other circumstances. They like that type of stuff. They like control. They like dominance. You know, they like calling shots. And this is what you see going on. And most times they like to take advantage of people who less fortunate than them because they know that the only reason why a lot of these people is around them is because they're less fortunate than them. If you pay attention to a lot of this stuff that goes on, notice these abusers who doing these things to these people is doing it to people who is less fortunate than they are. Notice it. They don't really do this to top people that's evenly balanced with them. So they use their position and resources as a means of abuse. Now, I'm going to keep it real. Some of these allegations can be lies because we're not going to play these games and act like some of this stuff is not only coming out because it's a money grab. But we also can't ignore that some of these women also may have been abused and taken advantage of. And sometimes doing things against their will, but still allow themselves to stay. So it can be very delicate. But then sometimes it looks bad on women who actually being taken against their will, who really ain't strong enough to fight back, who really is being threatened of their life these things can actually hurt them sometimes. And this sometimes why some women be silent about it. You know, I mean, this is the world we live in now, man. You know, everything is a hustle in one way or another. But I also understand, man, when we dealing with sin, you not off limits to the devil when you not covered by the blood of Jesus Christ. You're not off limits from the devil, not at all. And I don't trust none of this stuff. I don't believe none of these things. I know people can get in front of these cameras and make themselves seem to be whatever they want to be. But when these cameras cut off, they complete monsters. Okay? They complete monsters. Yes, Michael Jackson was a monster. Yes, I believe R. Kelly was a monster. Yes, I believe that Dwayne Wade and them is monsters. Yes, I believe that with all my heart. And so many more. But it's not a black thing also by how they painting it a lot. I'm noticing they actually publicizing a lot of these brothers on these rape things as though they the only ones, or we got to wear the rape. Have you noted that we got to wear everything negative? We got to wear everything negative. They use blacks for the poster child of homosexuality. They're using blacks for the poster child of rape. They're using blacks to be the poster child of HIV. They're using blacks to be the object of anything bad happen. Yeah. And what's crazy is so many of us voluntarily and willing to actually be in position to do it. They'll do it for anything. One of the reasons why they use us like that is to not only shame us, but to actually help promote the trash. But we're not the only ones. Somebody touch your neighbor and say, we're not the only ones. We're not the only ones. This world is terrible, very toxic. And I see a lot of things that go unnoticed. And popularity can put you in a position to where you overlook a lot of things because of who you like. We see this happening all the time too. You tend to excuse things based upon who you like and very selective on the things that actually happens to others. Again, if you notice, these guys who actually be doing these things to these women, you know what's a clear sign of them actually being guilty of what they accused of? Have you noticed everybody that be accused of these things, they never speak out against these things? Like, for instance, if you never raped or molested these women, took them against their will, you should be outraged of even being accused of these things. You should be outraged to the point that you speak out against these things and say, listen, I never did this to these women. I will never do that to a woman. And anybody that do such a thing to a woman should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Because it's wrong to rape. It's wrong to take people against their will. It's wrong to do these things to women. You should appreciate them. You should value them. But they don't speak like that. They don't speak against it. You notice that? They don't speak against it. Nah, no, they don't speak against it. You think you're going to hear Puffy speaking out against domestic violence on women, speaking out against rape of women? You think you're going to hear him speak out and say something like that? He issued a statement and he talked about his character and his wallet being tampered with. He didn't speak out against the actions of these things happening to women all over the world. He didn't speak out against that because he know he's not innocent. He know he's not innocent. He know he's guilty of it. So why would he speak out against it if he's guilty of it, only for it to come back and get him? Because you said out of your mouth, the person who did this should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, and you guilty of it. So they don't speak out against that stuff. They do not speak out against that stuff. He got so many women coming out on him, it ain't funny. Yeah, it's over. You could pack it up. You would never be the same, bro. Pack it up. You'll never be the same. And yes, the feds is already looking into this. Yes, you will be charged soon. First of all, it's making too much publicity. You're getting too much publicity. Therefore, somebody got to act on this. They can't ignore this. We are in the United States of America. It's too many organizations out there to let this go unnoticed. There are too many people coming out speaking against you. Even though these charges and paperwork on you is civil right now, only dealing with financial, don't mean that it can't go criminal. And that's exactly what's happening right now. They are building up a federal indictment against him. And he knows it. Here's the thing that y'all got to understand. This ain't taking him by surprise. That man is almost a billionaire. He got people in high places that already gave him the forewarning of what's going on and what's about to happen to him. Listen, let me tell y'all something. This real talk. For those of y'all who know my story, I used to sell a lot of drugs in the city I'm in. And I remember Dope Fiend May. Dope Fiend May came to me one time. I had like 6 different houses scattered out in this area. I had like 6 different houses, and she came to me one day. She said, Maliki, your house over there on 36th Street, shut it down. They are about to raid your house. I know this. So you know what I did? I took her word of what she said. I called my second in command. I said, hey, 37th Street, shut it down. Get everything out. Get the guns out. Get the work out. He was like, why? I said, because I just got a tip they're about to hit it soon. So get everything out like ASAP right now. He like, bet, I'm on it. True enough, it was about a week later, we got hit at that particular house. Remember, we got like 6 of them going on at the same time. That exact house she said was hit like a week later. Now, keep in mind, I had a person that told me that, who was right on that, at a lame dope dealing status. Here's Puffy, who's almost a billionaire, connected with a lot of high officials and people in the right positions and places. You don't think they gave that man a heads up for this happened? Of course they did. I'm going to give you more proof of how we know that to be true. Just before the P.DIDDY indictment, just before the Cassie civil charge came out on him, it was already documented that Puffy had removed a lot of his major money out of his accounts into offshore accounts out of the country. Why would you think he did that? Why would you think he did that? Where did that come from? That came from the high ups who knew what's going on, letting them know what's about to happen, and he had to protect the money. Why did he have to protect the money? Because if you're about to fight the system, you're going to need money to fight the system. That's why usually when the feds come for you, the first thing they do is hit your resources. They hit your finances. They hit your resources to cripple you, to put you in a bind by which you can't really fight them because your money is tied up in that system. So they hit you financially first, because what it does is cut off your resources, because you need money to move. You need money to make people move. So he removed the money so he can have protection when they come get him. Same thing happened to Russell Simmons. Just before Russell Simmons left and went to Bali, Russell Simmons was under a federal indictment for all type of underage girls and sex trafficking and women. How was he able to flee the country just before that indictment came to hit him? Because he was told ahead of time by the higher ups. he was able to leave before they hit him with the indictment. And what's crazy, when you look up his name and type that up, it actually said that. That's why he left America. But he left just before they came with the indictment. Now, keep in mind, he was told ahead of time before the indictment came out, which meant he had ample time to go hit the airport and leave without them tracing. Because if that indictment was in the process of finna get him, soon he went to the airport to try to leave, they would have arrested him right there at the airport. They would have arrested him at the airport like, oh, he trying to flee. He had time to flee before that indictment came out. So he fled before the indictment came out. Puffy was already told in advance what was going to happen to him with the P.DIDDY and the rape cases, so he removed all his money from the United States banks into offshore bank accounts so that he could have some protection. See, here's the thing about the higher-ups. They can't control the internet. They can't control the internet. It's only so much they can do. Once it come out on you and you exposed, they can't help Puffy because it hit the internet. It's too many people's hands involved. Now, there used to be a time before the internet, if a person had this information, oh, they'll get up with you and get you and have you dealt with. You can't in this era. You can, who you gonna deal with? Every media source is covering it. You can't deal with it. So the only thing he could do, he got to take the licking. Like, dang, bro, they got you. Ain't nothing we can do. It's everywhere. Everybody picked it up. TMZ, Celebrity News, ET, 2020, Fox, NBC, SCB. Everybody got it. It's everywhere, bro. We can't do nothing. Only thing we can do is give you heads up. They finna come for you, brother. They finna come for you. Go ahead and move that money around. You need to move that money around. Remember, you're part of the seat, so keep it closed. Yep, that's exactly what happened. You going down, though. They got to. Too many people talking about it. All this stuff is about politics, too. They can't afford to look, he expendable. They can't afford to let him get away with that stuff. Too many people talking. They have to do something about it. Or somebody going to get in trouble. Somebody going to get in trouble. Remember I told y'all, this is all about politics. Pay attention to when people running for offices and campaigns. You know what they doing when they running for judge seats, alderman seats, mayor seats, district attorney seats, sheriff seats? They use crime. They use crime and things to actually get those seats. If you're not acting on this, you're going to have a person who running against you expose you on it. Like, oh, we need to remove him from office because when he was in office, rape went up 10%, crime went up 5%, guns went up 3%, poverty went up such and such percent. He let so many sex offenders off the hook. So they got to act on it. They got to act on it. So yeah, he going down. They finna indict that brother. Simple as that. Too many people speaking out against him. Too many. You can't even count. I lost count of the people, and I lost count of the people. No streets for you. Leave me waiting on you. What's in no streets for you. So leave me waiting.